Welcome to the Principal at Home channel. This is episode 2, Are Your Footsteps Worth Following? I want to start right now with one question to think about as we move through the next few minutes. So this question being this: if someone was a carbon copy of you, would you want them to be your leader? And I'm talking about your attitude, how you treat people, your tone, your consistent day-to-day approach to life. So again, if someone was a carbon copy of you, would you want them to be your leader? So that brings me to my first 3 points I want to talk about when we talk about footprints and footsteps. So I want to look at 3 footprints of us being a leader that I think are very important, probably 3 of the most important footprints in order to be a very successful leader. The first footprint being this, the footprint of integrity. So how do you show integrity at work? I think with integrity, a lot of times it means you've got to take ownership as a leader when you make a mistake. You got to own it. We're going to mess up. So when you mess up, are you going to own those mistakes? So I have a perfect example that came to my mind as a leader when I was principal at the middle school of owning up to a mistake. We had a discipline issue we were working through, and I just dropped the ball. I did not call home to one of the parents of the students involved in this particular discipline issue. When I say that, I called the parent of the student who got disciplined. The other child did not get disciplined, but was still involved in the situation that was going on. And I just completely forgot. And I pride myself in communication, but I just messed up. I messed up and I did not call that parent. So the next day at work, very first thing in the morning, someone lets me know that dad is there to meet with me. And as soon as they told me he was there to meet with me, I knew instantly exactly that I had messed up and I forgot to call home to him. So before I went in there, I had to really prep myself for that meeting because I knew what was coming at me. And I even told one of our assistants going into that meeting, I just got to own it. I got to tell the parent, I'm sorry, I own it, I made a mistake. So that's how I approached that meeting. When I walked in there, I didn't even let the parent start the meeting because I knew where that would go. I started the meeting by saying, sir, I'm just sorry. I apologize for not calling you yesterday. I have no excuses. It did not happen, and I'm sorry. And it just completely changed the tone of that whole meeting. And again, it also lets them know we are human. We're going to mess up. We're going to make mistakes. But I think as leaders, sometimes people may hold us to a higher standard, which is fine. But at the same time, we're still going to mess up. So when we do, it's so important that we own up to those mistakes. So that's a footprint of integrity at work. What about a footprint of integrity at home? Something that I think of when I think about my family at home and integrity, it's important to me that Caroline, my daughter, sees how I treat Faith. How do you treat your spouse in front of your children? You know, I want Caroline, as she grows older, I want her to think about who her husband's going to be. And I want that idea that she has of who her husband's going to be to model after me as far as how I treat Faith, how I treat my wife in front of my daughter. And when I say that, I think it's also important that we say to our spouse, I love you in front of our children. Yes, we need to show it, but I think even more importantly, we need to tell our spouse we love them in front of our kids. I also I try to make a point every day to tell Faith I love her and tell Caroline I love her. And I think that's so important. And again, I think that's part of the footprint of integrity at home. The next footprint, the second footprint I want to talk about are your priorities. So what is your priority at work? Is your priority when you go in the door every day at work is to get behind your desk and check off your to-do list, read all the emails, make sure you got all the emails answered? Or is your priority to be out with your people, to be visible with your people? You don't need to be a leader that's stuck in your office and locked behind those doors all day, working on a computer, working on your to-do list. You should be visible and building those relationships with the people you work with. They need to see you more than they don't see you. So make it important to get out there and be visible with the people you work with. I think it's important as you build relationships, and for me with the students and teachers, I've got to be visible. I've got to be out there. And yes, there's going to be days we've got to be in our office. We've got to get those things done, but that cannot be how we consistently approach our day-to-day as a leader. We have got to be visible and be with our people out in the building. So that's a footprint of priority for our work. Now, what about our home? This is where I struggle. This is where I've got to get better. Who are you at the dinner table? Who are you at the dinner table? Are you having conversations with your spouse, with your kids, with others in your family at the dinner table? Or are you looking down at your phone, checking emails, scrolling social media? I've got to do better. My goal this week, I'm setting my goal this week to work on this footprint for me of a priority when I get home is to put my phone away. So don't let that be you. When you're at the dinner table, be present. When you come home, be present for your family. That's a priority that I think about when I see a footprint of priority. And the last footprint that I want to touch on for just a minute is your footprint of faith. Who are you during those difficult times? You know, when everything's great, it's easy to carry yourself in the right way. But when you have those tough days, challenging days, are you one that leans on God, or are you one that tries to push through on your own? And that's just, people will know. People will know how you live your life day to day, in and out of the seasons of life that we go through. So again, I think that this can apply for both home and work, in all areas of your life. Who are you in those difficult days? Your footprint of faith. Do you rely on God, or do you rely on yourself to get through those difficult days? So again, 3 footprints: integrity, your priorities, and faith. And the last thing I want to look at are your footsteps that prepare others to lead. What are you doing to help those people around you day to day to help them become better leaders? The first point that I want to talk about when it comes to work is you cannot be, I don't believe you can be a great leader by working in isolation. There's no way you can make an impact on others, and others can't make an impact on you if you're working in isolation. You've got to work well with others. You've got to form a very strong team around you that you trust and that you have confidence in, that you can have those confidential conversations. So for me personally at work, both schools that I've been a principal at, I've been blessed to have a great administrative team. And I do feel that we've done a good job of just working well together and being able to have those confidential conversations. And I think it's important to include your team in almost all decisions as you work through them together, because they need to understand why I'm approaching certain situations certain ways. They need to understand why I say things a certain way, why I have those tough conversations a certain way, why I handle tough parents a certain way. I want them to see how I handle things. One, I love to be critiqued and have those conversations and hear their ideas. But I want them to see how I handle it. So when they get in the seat of the principal or whatever leadership position they're going to be in, by seeing it and being around it and experiencing it with me, that will help them become even a better leader. So I try to include all of my admin team on almost every type of meeting I can think of. We have weekly meetings where we talk through situations, whatever it is we're working through. I include them on everything. And I think that is number one priority when you're developing those around you to be strong leaders. If you've got to include them. You cannot leave them out. They've got to be included. They've got to feel included. And again, you cannot work in isolation. So that's the main point I want to make today. And there may be other episodes where we can elaborate on that even more. My main point, though, being leading those around you work with to be great leaders, include them. Include them on everything as much as possible. Let them see how you handle situations, and they will learn from it and grow from it as well. Now, going to home. How do I plant a footstep in my home to help my family become better leaders, my family members become better leaders? Thinking of my daughter, leadership. She doesn't quite grasp the idea of what a leader is about right now. We've tried to have those conversations, and it's not all about winning. So we're trying to work on that part of it, and I'm a little guilty with that because I love to win, but that's not what being a leader is about. Right now, I think for kids, developing those fundamental skills to help them understand, so as they grow, that will help them develop into a strong leader. Skills that I think of that come to my mind are listening, being respectful, following directions, and responding to her teacher, yes ma'am, no ma'am. I think kids this day and time have a hard time listening. And that is one skill I really try to work hard with Caroline. And a lot of days when she goes to school, before she leaves, I remind her of those things. Hey, go be a leader today. Be a good listener. Follow your teacher's directions. I really try to remind her of those things. And I think over time, that will help them grasp of becoming and growing into a leader. But if we don't ever say it, we never talk about it at home, they'll never know about it. So we've got to talk about it to our kids at home about the qualities that make up a good leader. So as we close, I want to think about two questions to resonate with you as you move through the week. Hopefully this will help you a little bit. So first question being this: are my actions worth repeating at work and at home? Are my actions worth repeating at work and at home? Second question: of the footprints we talked about today, integrity, priorities, and faith, which footprint are you going to work on this week to help you improve as a leader? I already mentioned the footprint I'm going to work on. That's priority. I'm going to try to be more present at home when I'm home this week. Put my cell phone away and stay off my phone as much as possible. So again, I hope some of this resonated with you today. I continue to look forward to this channel growing as we grow as leaders together. I would really encourage you to subscribe, comment, and like this video. And again, our goal is to lead well at work, but even better at home. Please subscribe, comment, and like, and I'll see you next Monday.